Emotional exhaustion rarely happens all at once. Most of the time, it builds slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, until one day you begin to notice something has changed. Your mind feels heavier than it used to. Your body feels more drained. And even the simplest things can start to feel overwhelming. And what many people don't realize is that emotional exhaustion is not only happening in the mind, it's happening inside the nervous system. And something interesting begins to happen when the nervous system finally feels safe enough to reset. Pressure begins to release. Mental noise begins to soften, and the body starts remembering how to recover. And by the end of this session, your mind can begin to feel lighter. Your nervous system can begin to settle, and a deeper calm can start returning in a very natural way. And the interesting thing is, many people start to notice the shift before they even realize it's happening. So for now, just keep listening. This session is part of a method called the Mind Reset Method, a method designed to work directly with the subconscious mind and the nervous system. Because emotional exhaustion is rarely just about thoughts. It happens when the nervous system has been under pressure for too long. Too much stimulation, too many demands, too little time to recover. And over time, the mind and body begin to operate in a constant state of tension. Even when you try to rest, even when you try to slow down. And many traditional approaches try to solve this problem by pushing the mind harder. They try to force positive thinking. They try to increase motivation. They try to push productivity. But emotional exhaustion rarely heals through pressure. It begins to heal when the nervous system finally feels safe enough to reset. And this is where the Mind Reset Method works differently. Instead of forcing the mind to change, this method gently guides the subconscious mind into a state where recovery can begin naturally. Because the subconscious mind is where your emotional patterns are stored. your stress responses, your automatic reactions, and your ability to return to balance after pressure. And when the subconscious mind begins to shift, the nervous system begins to soften. Mental noise begins to quiet, and emotional energy can slowly begin to restore itself. And throughout this session, you may notice a simple phrase returning from time to time. Reset and return to calm. Each time you hear those words, your mind can allow tension to soften a little more. Your breathing can settle a little deeper, and your nervous system can remember how to relax again. That is why it is important to allow yourself to listen all the way to the end of this session, because the process unfolds in stages, and often the most important changes begin to happen later, when the mind has already started to slow down, and the subconscious mind becomes more open to release and restoration. So for now, there is nothing you need to force, nothing you need to analyze. Just continue listening and allow your mind and body to begin responding in their own natural rhythm. And remember, reset and return to calm. Before we begin going deeper into this process, take a moment to make sure you are in a place where you can relax comfortably. You may choose to sit or lie down in whatever position allows your body to feel supported. Allow your hands to rest naturally. Allow your shoulders to soften. And if it feels comfortable, you can gently close your eyes, or simply allow your gaze to rest softly in one place. There is nothing you need to do right now, nothing you need to solve. This time is simply for your mind and your nervous system to begin slowing down. And as you begin to listen, you might start noticing your breathing without changing it, just noticing it. The gentle rhythm of your breath moving in and moving out. And with each slow breath, release a little more tension. Your shoulders softening, your jaw relaxing, your forehead smoothing, and you may begin to notice that the more you allow your breathing to slow down, the easier it becomes for the mind to settle, for the nervous system to quiet, for the body to begin remembering how to rest. And from time to time during this session, you will hear a simple phrase: reset and return to calm. And each time you hear those words, your mind can allow tension to release just a little more. Your breathing can settle a little deeper, and your nervous system can gently return to a state of balance. So take another slow breath now, and as you exhale, allow your body to soften even more, and just allow yourself to continue listening. Reset and return to calm. And now, just allow your attention to gently return to your breathing. Nothing forced, nothing controlled, just the quiet rhythm of the breath moving in and slowly moving out. And you may begin to notice something interesting. The more you allow your breathing to slow down, the easier it becomes for the body to relax. And the more the body relaxes, the easier it becomes for the mind to slow down as well. Because the body and the mind are always connected. So when the breath becomes slower, the body begins to soften. And when the body softens, the mind naturally begins to follow. Slower, quieter, softer. And you may begin to notice small changes happening already. Perhaps your shoulders settling a little deeper. Perhaps the muscles around your eye beginning to soften. Perhaps your jaw relaxing just slightly. And And sometimes people notice their hands becoming heavier, resting more comfortably, or the chest softening as the breath moves more easily. And the interesting thing is, the mind does not have to try to relax, because relaxation is something your nervous system already understands. It has always known how to slow down. It has always known how to release pressure. Sometimes it simply needs a moment of safety to remember how. And as your breathing continues in its natural rhythm, your nervous system may already be beginning to recognize that this moment is safe. There is nothing you need to solve. Nothing you need to hold together. Nothing you need to control. Just this moment. Just this breath. And with each slow breath out, you may notice the body sinking just a little deeper into comfort, as if gravity itself is gently supporting you, allowing the muscles to soften, allowing the body to rest, allowing the nervous system to downshift. Slower, softer, deeper. And sometimes when the body begins to relax like this, the mind starts drifting in a slightly different way. Thoughts become quieter, more distant, almost like clouds slowly moving across the sky. There, but no longer demanding your attention. And the more the mind becomes quiet, the easier it becomes to simply continue relaxing. And the more you relax, the easier it becomes to allow the nervous system to reset. And from time to time during this session, you will hear a simple phrase: reset, and return to calm. And each time you hear those words, your mind can allow tension to soften a little more. nervous system can remember how to relax again. So just continue breathing slowly now, allowing the body to soften, allowing the mind to drift, allowing the nervous system to continue slowing down, moment by moment, breath by breath, drifting a little deeper into comfort, and again, reset and return to calm. And as your mind and body continue settling into this calmer rhythm, you may begin to notice something about emotional exhaustion. It rarely appears suddenly. Most of the time, it builds slowly. Day after day, moment after moment, small amounts of pressure accumulating over time. Responsibilities, expectations, constant stimulation, and the feeling that you always need to keep going. Even when part of you is already tired, and emotional exhaustion often feels confusing, because from the outside, life may look completely normal, but inside, the nervous system has been working much harder than anyone realizes, holding tension, holding pressure, holding emotions that never fully had the chance to release. And over time, the mind can begin to feel heavy. The body can begin to feel drained. Motivation becomes harder to access. Even small tasks can start to feel overwhelming. And sometimes people begin to wonder, why do I feel this tired? Why does everything feel harder than it used to? And the truth is, emotional exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign that the nervous system has simply been carrying too much for too long. Too much pressure, too much responsibility, too little space to recover. And when that happens, the nervous system begins protecting itself by slowing things down. Energy becomes lower. Motivation becomes quieter. searching for rest. And the important thing to understand is this: your nervous system has never been working against you. It has been trying to protect you, trying to keep going, trying to carry everything that needed to be carried. And sometimes the most important step in healing emotional exhaustion is simply allowing the nervous system to finally release some of that pressure, to stop holding everything together, to stop carrying everything alone. And as you continue breathing slowly, you may notice something beginning to shift already. A sense of permission. Permission to soften. Permission to slow down. Permission to release the pressure your nervous system has been holding for so long. Because in this moment, there is nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to push through. Just this moment of recovery, just this moment of rest. And as the nervous system begins to recognize this space, it can begin releasing tension in its own natural way, gradually, gently, naturally. And from time to time, you will hear those familiar words again. Reset and return to calm. And each time you hear that phrase, your nervous system can allow a little more pressure to release, a little more tension to soften, a little more emotional weight to lift. So just continue breathing slowly, allowing the body to rest, allowing the mind to soften, allowing the nervous system to begin releasing what it no longer needs to hold. And again, reset and return to calm. And now, as your mind continues drifting in this quieter state, and your body remains supported by the slow rhythm of your breathing, something very natural can begin to happen. The nervous system can begin releasing some of the emotional pressure it has been holding. Not all at once, but gradually. In the same gentle way that tension built over time, it can begin dissolving over time as well. And sometimes emotional pressure feels almost like weight inside the body, a quiet heaviness carried in the shoulders, in the chest, in the stomach, or simply a general sense of mental fatigue. And as your nervous system begins recognizing that this moment is safe, it can begin releasing that weight, one layer at a time, without effort, without force, just allowing. Because the subconscious mind already understands how to let go of what it no longer needs to carry. Just as the body knows how to release a breath, just as muscles know how to soften after tension, your subconscious mind can begin releasing emotional pressure in its own natural rhythm. Some people notice a sense of lightness beginning to appear. Others notice a deeper calm spreading slowly through the body. And sometimes the mind simply becomes quieter, more spacious, more open, as if the nervous system is gently clearing space inside. And the more space that begins to appear, the easier it becomes for emotional energy to begin restoring itself. Because emotional exhaustion is not the absence of strength. It is simply the nervous system asking for recovery. And recovery begins when pressure begins to release. So just allow the breath to continue moving slowly. Allow the body to remain soft and supported. And allow the subconscious mind to begin releasing anything it has been holding for too long. Pressure that no longer needs to stay. Tension that no longer needs to be carried. Emotional weight that can now begin dissolving, layer by layer, breath by breath, moment by moment. And from time to time, you will hear those familiar words again. reset, and return to calm. And each time those words appear, your nervous system can allow another layer of tension to release, another layer of pressure to soften, another layer of emotional weight to dissolve. Because the nervous system already knows how to restore balance. Sometimes it simply needs the space to do it. And as you continue listening, you may notice that the more the nervous system releases tension, the easier it becomes to continue releasing. The more pressure dissolves, the lighter the mind can begin to feel. The quieter the body can become, and the deeper the sense of calm can begin spreading through your entire system. So just allow this process to continue naturally now. Breath by breath, moment by moment, allowing the nervous system to release what it has been holding, allowing emotional pressure to soften, allowing recovery to begin, and again, reset and return to calm. And now, as your mind continues resting in this calm and quiet state, and your nervous system continues releasing pressure, this becomes a powerful moment for your subconscious mind to begin reorganizing its patterns. Because the subconscious mind is always learning, always adapting, always updating the patterns that guide how your nervous system responds to the world around you. And right now, your subconscious mind can begin forming new patterns of balance, new patterns of recovery, new patterns of emotional resilience. Because emotional exhaustion was never a failure of strength. It was simply a signal from the nervous system that it had been carrying too much for too long. And now your nervous system can begin learning something new. Learning that recovery is safe. that energy can restore itself naturally. Because emotional strength does not come from constant pressure. Real emotional strength comes from the ability to return to balance. Again and again and again. And as your subconscious mind begins remembering this natural rhythm, your nervous system can begin responding differently to stress. Pressure no longer needs to accumulate the way it once did. Tension no longer needs to remain stored in the body. The mind no longer needs to carry everything alone. Instead, your nervous system can begin restoring its natural cycle. Activity and recovery. Focus and rest. Effort and renewal. Energy moving outward and energy returning inward again. Because the human nervous system was never designed to remain under pressure all the time. It was designed to move in cycles. Cycles that restore strength. Cycles that rebuild energy. Cycles that protect emotional balance. And as your subconscious mind begins restoring this natural rhythm, new neural pathways can begin forming quietly in the background. Pathways that support calm. Pathways that support resilience. Pathways that allow the nervous system to return to balance more easily, more naturally, more automatically. And you may begin to notice something interesting in the days ahead. Small changes, subtle shifts, moments where you respond to pressure differently than before. Moments where your mind becomes calm more quickly. Moments where your body releases tension more easily. Because each time the nervous system returns to calm, it strengthens that pathway. Each return to balance, making the next return even easier. easier. And throughout this process, you may hear those familiar words again. Reset and return to calm. And each time you hear that phrase, your nervous system strengthens its ability to relax. Your mind strengthens its ability to release pressure. And your emotional system strengthens its ability to recover more easily, more naturally, more automatically, until calm begins to feel more familiar than pressure, more natural than exhaustion, more stable than overwhelm. And as this process continues quietly within your subconscious mind, you can simply allow new patterns of calm and resilience to continue forming. Allow emotional energy to restore. Allow the nervous system to remember its natural balance. And once more, reset and return to calm. And now, as your mind continues resting in this calm and open state, you may begin to imagine something very simple. The version of yourself whose nervous system has already begun recovering from emotional exhaustion. A version of you that knows how to restore energy, knows how to release pressure, knows how to return to balance naturally. And as you imagine that version of yourself, you may begin noticing how that person moves through the day. A little calmer, a little clearer, a little lighter. Perhaps the breath feels easier. Perhaps the shoulders feel more relaxed. Perhaps the mind feels more spacious. And situations that once felt overwhelming may begin to feel more manageable. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your nervous system is no longer carrying the same level of pressure. And when challenges appear, you may begin noticing yourself responding differently, more grounded, more steady, more emotionally balanced. because your nervous system now understands something important. Pressure does not need to accumulate the way it once did. Recovery can begin sooner. Balance can return more easily. And emotional energy can restore itself more naturally. And you may begin noticing small changes appearing in everyday life. A morning where your mind feels clearer than it used to. A conversation where you feel calmer and more present. A quiet moment where the body feels lighter, as if tension that once stayed in the system has begun to dissolve. And these small moments begin reinforcing a new internal pattern. A pattern where calm becomes familiar, where recovery becomes natural, where your nervous system knows how to protect your emotional energy. And the more your nervous system practices returning to calm, the easier it becomes to maintain that balance throughout the day. A little calmer, a little clearer, a little lighter. Perhaps the breath feels easier. Perhaps the shoulders feel more relaxed. Perhaps the mind feels more spacious. And situations that once felt overwhelming may begin to feel more manageable. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your nervous system is no longer carrying the same level of pressure. And when challenges appear, you may begin noticing yourself responding differently, more grounded, more steady, more emotionally balanced, because your nervous system now understands something important. Pressure does not need to accumulate the way it once did. Recovery can begin sooner. Balance can return more easily. And emotional energy can restore itself more naturally. And you may begin to notice something interesting in the days ahead. Small changes, subtle shifts, moments where you respond to pressure differently than before. Moments where your mind becomes calm more quickly. Moments where your body releases tension more easily. Because each time the nervous system returns to calm, it strengthens that pathway. Each return to balance, making the next return even easier. And throughout this process, you may hear those familiar words again. Reset and return to calm. And each time you hear that phrase, your nervous system strengthens its ability to relax. Your mind strengthens its ability to release pressure. And your emotional system strengthens its ability to recover more easily, more naturally, more automatically, until calm begins to feel more familiar than pressure, more natural than exhaustion, more stable than overwhelm. And as this process continues quietly within your subconscious mind, you can simply allow new patterns of calm and resilience to continue forming. Allow emotional energy to restore. Allow the nervous system to remember its natural balance. And once more, reset and return to calm. And now, as your mind continues resting in this calm and balanced state, you can simply allow everything that has begun during this session to continue integrating naturally. There is nothing you need to do to make this process happen, because your subconscious mind already understands how to integrate change. It understands how to organize new patterns, how to strengthen pathways that support calm and emotional balance. And as your nervous system continues settling into this deeper state of rest, these new patterns can begin stabilizing quietly in the background. Calm becoming easier to access. Recovery becoming more natural. Balance returning more quickly whenever it is needed. And many people notice that after allowing the nervous system to reset in this way, something inside begins to feel different. Not dramatically, not suddenly, but quietly. A subtle sense of space where pressure once lived. sense that the nervous system is no longer carrying everything it once held. And as this process continues, your mind and body can begin working together in a healthier rhythm. Energy restoring more easily, emotional balance becoming more stable, and calm becoming something your nervous system remembers more naturally. And throughout the rest of this day and the days ahead, your nervous system can continue strengthening this new pattern, allowing pressure to release more easily, allowing calm to return more naturally, allowing recovery to happen more completely. And from time to time, you may hear those familiar words again. Reset and return to calm. And each time you hear that phrase, your mind and body reconnect with this state. Your breathing softens. Your nervous system settles. And calm becomes easier to access again. And for now, you can simply allow the changes that began here to continue growing quietly within your subconscious mind, allowing balance to strengthen, allowing calm to deepen, allowing emotional energy to restore. And once more, reset and return to calm. And now, as this session begins gently coming to a close, your mind and nervous system can continue resting in this calm and balanced state for a few more moments. Allowing everything that has begun during this experience to continue settling naturally. Because the subconscious mind often continues integrating change even after the session has ended, quietly organizing new patterns, strengthening new pathways that support calm, recovery, and emotional balance. And something important to understand about the subconscious mind is this: it learns through repetition and experience. Each time you return to a state of calm like this, The nervous system strengthens its ability to access that state again. Each time emotional pressure releases, the mind becomes more familiar with balance, and over time, these repeated moments of calm begin forming stronger neural pathways. Pathways that make it easier for the nervous system to return to balance in everyday life. That is why many people find it helpful to listen to this session regularly. Allowing the nervous system to practice recovery. Allowing the subconscious mind to reinforce new patterns of emotional resilience. And each time you return to this session, the process often becomes easier. The mind relaxes more quickly. The body releases tension more naturally. And the nervous system remembers how to return to calm. So whenever you feel emotional pressure building, or whenever your mind and body simply need a moment of restoration, you can return to this experience, allowing your nervous system to reset again, and again, and again. And each time you hear those familiar words, your mind and body will remember what to do. Reset and return to calm. And now, in a moment, you can gently begin returning your awareness to the space around you, bringing with you the calm your nervous system has begun restoring, the balance your mind has begun integrating, and the emotional space that is beginning to return. Taking a slow, comfortable breath. Allowing your body to become aware of the surface beneath you. Perhaps gently moving your fingers or your shoulders. And whenever you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes, bringing this sense of calm and balance with you into the rest of your day. And remembering, reset and return